And here's an example of net neutrality being scapegoated once again. AT&T CEO. Too many letters, guys. Way too many letters. I can't do that. AT&T CEO. That's wobbly, huh? That is a wonky little doodle there. Look at how pissed off he looks. He's like, "Brr, this is way too big for his face." You guys see this? It's way too big for his face. It looks stupid. It looks like he has cheese on his face. All right, state net neutrality and privacy laws are a total disaster if you are trying to price gouge the internet like a predator. All right, they don't include that part, but I did. Ooh, and scrolling is not my friend today. Scrolling is not my friend at all. We got to close out of some stuff, I guess. All right. AT&T CEO Randall Stephenson yesterday urged Congress to pass net neutrality and consumer data privacy laws that would prevent states from issuing their own stricter laws. There are a number of states that are now passing their own legislation around privacy and, by the way, net neutrality. What would be a total disaster, and this is his quote, what would be a total disaster for the technology and innovation, bullshit, you see happening in Silicon Valley and elsewhere is to pick up our head up and have 50 different sets of rules for companies trying to operate in the United States. Well, then you shouldn't have messed with net neutrality in the first place, buddy. You shouldn't have messed with it. The Journal didn't post full video of Stevenson's interview, but described other remarks on net neutrality in an article. There should be no blocking. ISPs should not be allowed to throttle someone else's content, and any device should be allowed to connect to the internet without interference, he said. But he made no mention of banning paid prioritization, which was banned under the now repealed FCC rule and by the California law that AT&T and other ISPs are fighting in court. The omission makes sense, given that AT&T has previously argued that some forms of paid prioritization should be allowed. So they're fine with fast lanes and slow lanes. Stephen also apparently did not call for any limitations on zero rating. Why? Because they could use their video servers more than other ones, and it would help them eliminate the competition. Then when they eliminate the competition, what are they going to do? They're going to price gouge you. If they're the only video platform in town, man, it's all theirs. So ultimately, he appears to be looking for a federal law with only the most basic net neutrality rules, no blocking and no throttling. So you can't straight up block content, you can't straight up throttle it, but you can have fast lanes and slow lanes. And let's be honest, those fast lanes and slow lanes would lead to content creators paying as well. So basically, he wants the lightest restrictions possible so he can find a way around them. And let's see specifically, we can go here. AT&T describes post-net neutrality plans for paid prioritization. So the ISP claims they're not interested in creating fast lanes and slow lanes. Well, what are they interested in? AT&T is talking up the benefits of paid prioritization schemes in preparation for the death of net neutrality rules, while claiming that charging certain content providers for priority access won't create fast lanes and slow lanes. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. The issue of paid prioritization has always been theoretical. So they're saying they're fine with this. They're saying that they're okay. They're okay with the idea of CNN paying for their content to load faster, and somebody like me or any independent media outlet, their content can load slower. AT&T's fine with that. And you, the user, you, the customer, you have no say in it. They're saying that that's what they want to do. They want to dictate what you can and can't see on the internet. And they're saying this isn't fast lanes and slow lanes. It is as far as speech is concerned. So AT&T is fine with this. AT&T and the FCC has already allowed some forms of prioritization. So AT&T is fine with one, and it's not just AT&T, Comcast. They all want to do that. They're all fine with the idea of dictating what you can and can't see on the internet if it helps their bottom line, if it allows them to make more money. They're already making record profits. This is why we need to put the internet back in the public's hands, or in the public's hands for the first time. This is why we need nationwide municipal broadband. This is why we need strong state net neutrality laws to protect us in the meantime. And this is why it's a bad idea, and it was a bad idea out the get-go, to privatize our internet and put it in corporate hands whose only concern is making as much money as possible. We're letting them control the information superhighway that is essential to us exchanging ideas and information. We're putting it in the hands of Comcast and AT&T. This is why other countries pay less for internet than we do and get better service at a better price. I was just over in England. They pay about £20 a month on average for internet, and their internet's better and faster than ours. £20, that's what they pay. I know the pound's mightier than the dollar, but it ain't that much mightier. Think about what you pay if you're in the U.S. And some of you guys are over in, England and other countries like that. You can vouch for this. Other countries that did what we did, privatized the whole thing, allowed organized duopolies to occur, they have shitty service too at a higher price. Ask somebody in Australia. We need municipal broadband, and that's why I'm fighting for it here in Southern California. And I know a lot of you guys are fighting in your communities, and we got to continue. And, my next steps here where I live in Pasadena is to kind of rally the city council again to try to get this on the ballot as soon as I can, or to try to get a local initiative going as soon as I can.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you wanna know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you wanna know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and